from the University of North Carolina School of Media and Journalism, covering the full range of Tar Heel athletics. This is Sports Xtra.
UNC, the University of National Champions. Thanks for joining us. I'm Erin Jenkins.
And I'm Kirsten Clark, also the University of Conference Champions, and we have one of each of those to tell you about. Chapel Hill played host to the ACC field hockey tournament this weekend, and the Heels look to make it 4 straight conference championships. First up in the semifinals, Syracuse. It was an action-packed semifinal match. Bryn Boylan cashed in her first goal of the season, making the most of a penalty corner in the first. Carolina goalkeeper Amanda Hendry denying Syracuse from the scoreboard the entire half. And in the third, an orange corner opportunity led to a rocket in the net. The score is now 1-1. 2 fourth-quarter goals for both teams, back-to-back strikes by the Tar Heels to retake the lead, and Syracuse with an immediate response. Then, seconds left on the clock, a long pass for a tip right past Hendry sent the game to overtime. Neither team let up in sudden death, but a penalty stroke called on Syracuse gave Carolina the opportunity to finish. Boylan closing the game, she opened with a beamer to the backboard. Heels win a nail-biter, 4-3. On Sundays, in the championship game, the Heels started the game as an underdog to number 1 ranked Louisville. Louisville dominated in the first half, netting 2 goals. Then the game changed in the second quarter when Aaron Madsen rocketed the ball into the net on a penalty corner. The Heels dominated the second half. Bryn Boylan took a pass and unleashed a shot from the top of the circle to tie the game. 43 minutes in, Madison Orobono deflected a shot by Hannah Griggs from the front of the cage. The Heels take their first lead. To secure the victory for Carolina, Aaron Madsen scored the final goal off a rebound to bring the score to 4-2, making UNC the ACC champions.
You know, there was a bit of freedom in being the underdog, right? But we didn't play like the underdog when we came out, and you go down 2 goals, and then all of a sudden they turned on the fight. And that's what this team, if this team combines their skills and we continue to develop, and then they get the fight and the passion consistently, yeah, we're a pretty strong team then.
Sports Extra reporter and field hockey midfielder Ava Smallners joins us now to talk about the program's 23rd ACC Tournament Championship. She's been part of 4 of those. Ava, it didn't look good until Madsen scored that first goal. What changed in the second half?
Yeah, I think after we were down 2-0, we definitely had to change things up. And after coming together and talking about what we should do differently, I think we changed our press. We started pressing way higher. And when we saw that was going to work for us, our energy went up, our passion went up, and we started fighting way more, like our coach also said. And it worked for us. We started scoring goals again, and I think that gave us even more energy. And at that point, we were just very confident in getting this win, and we luckily were able to do so.
Right, and you've never lost at Karen Shelton Stadium. What does that mean to you and your team?
Yeah, it definitely is something special. I mean, playing at our home field that is named after our coach is a very big honor, and we definitely take it into consideration every time that we do play. It's not our main goal to win at home every time, but it definitely gives us a little bit of more extra energy and a little bit more extra passion to give it our best and give it our all, not just for ourselves, but especially for coach. So just playing for her on her field definitely helps us to get even more into our focus when we play those games.
Right. She's definitely a phenomenal coach. And at the end of last season, you said you want to leave Carolina with 4 ACC rings and 3 Natty rings. So there's only 1 ring left to get. Can the Heels do it?
I definitely think there's opportunity for us to win it. We definitely have to still continue to work really hard and bring it to practice every day. There's a lot of commitment, and I think we're able to do so if we just keep continuing to work hard and stay focused, stay together, and hopefully we'll be able to do so, yeah.
Well, I think you guys can do it again. That's field hockey ACC champ Ava Smallners, also our Sports Extra colleague. Thank you so much, Ava. For teams to maximize their preparation for games, players need to practice against opponents with high-level skills. Reporter Madeline Alt tells us about a practice player for the field hockey team here at UNC.
Junior Hayden Clay has been involved in field hockey his whole life, and when he came to Carolina, he didn't want to stop that hobby.
When I came to UNC, I really wanted an opportunity that would allow me to play field hockey on the field and get into the action, be competitive. And last year for me, my sophomore year, that was the club team, and I absolutely loved it.
And Hayden definitely made an impact on the team, as he quickly earned the role of a captain, president, coach position. It wasn't long before coaches from the varsity team began to notice him.
Over the summer, one of the coaches for UNC reached out to me and asked me to be a practice player for the varsity team, and I decided to go for it.
What makes Hayden's story even more remarkable is that he's the only male player on the field.
I have been playing field hockey since 8th grade, and field hockey in America is a vast majority girls sport, from little girls all the way up through college and the national team. So I've always, since I started playing, I tried to make it a point to always be a pioneer for men's field hockey in the United States.
And although Hayden is unable to play in games with the Tar Heels, he loves being able to push them in practice to help them reach their peak performances.
For me, it's honestly one of the coolest things that I could ever have done in my life. I'm like a kid in a candy store. Now getting to call these people that used to be celebrities to me, some of my best friends, is just, it's insane.
Hayden's work has definitely paid off, as the Carolina field hockey team has had an amazing season, and Hayden will continue to play a crucial role on the team for seasons to come. In Chapel Hill, I'm Madeline Alt, reporting.
I think we can say that Clay did his job helping get the team ready for the big tournament. Now it's on to the spring season and maybe a third straight national title.
In the attempt to rebound after last week's loss, the football team traveled down 15-501 to Durham to take on Duke in the battle for the victory bell. The Tar Heels caught the scoring started early and kept it going often at Wallace Wade Stadium, starting with a QB scramble by Sam Howell to put the Heels up by 14 in the first quarter. After falling flat against UVA, Carolina's defense said, "I got your back," as Day-Day Hollins intercepted and returned it to the opposing 20-yard line. Following the pick, Howell finds Michael Carter, who gets the ball in the flat, takes it inside the 10, and lays the boom on a Duke defender. Take another look as Carter tells his defensive back to hit the weight room and put the Heels up big. Later in the half, Javonte Williams takes the handoff and turns on the burners as he darts home for the score, taking several Duke defenders with him. Williams had not one, not two, and not three, but 4 touchdowns in the first half. The offense continued to pour it on after the intermission, with Howell finding Daz Newsome on the fade for the score early in the third quarter. The Heels soundly put away the Blue Devils 56-24, and they keep the victory bell the better shade of blue.
Really pleased with our team. This is a very important game for the University of North Carolina. I applaud our players and our coaches for understanding how important this game is.
Analyst Nick Perlin is here to break it all down for us. Nick, the Heels did a lot right in Durham this weekend.
Especially on offense, Aaron, UNC keeps the victory bell home where it belongs with another big performance from Javonte Williams. Williams is simply putting up video game numbers this season. He leads the country with most touchdowns scored with 17. He has already rushed for 767 yards this season and is averaging a staggering 7.2 yards per carry. Saturday against Duke was no different. Williams found the end zone on 4 different occasions, and the best one came here as Williams streaks to the end zone and boom, hammers over a Dookie to pay dirt. Williams finished the game with 151 rushing yards, 4 touchdowns, and he averaged 12.6 yards per carry. The only question for Williams now is, where is his Heisman hype? The defense once again looks shaky and continues to be the Achilles heel for a very talented UNC team. Even though Duke scored only 24 points, the Devils were able to move the ball very well for most of the game, finishing with 411 yards offensively. UNC must get better stopping the run. The Heels allowed 185 yards on the ground. Teams are using a lot of short passing to get receivers into the open field to take advantage of Carolina struggling to make open field tackles. Duke used these passes a lot in the second quarter, as have many previous opponents for UNC. It's been about the same thing all year. The offense is elite, the defense needs major work, and penalties continue to be a problem for the Heels. If Carolina wants to reclaim national attention, there's cleanup work to do. Back to you guys.
Football analyst Nick Perlin. Thanks, Nick. Despite Saturday's results, the Tar Heels' path to the ACC title game is now more challenging. After Notre Dame's upset of number 1 Clemson on Saturday night, UNC will need some help if the Heels hope to finish in the top 2 of the ACC. With 2 losses already, Carolina would need to win out and have the undefeated Fighting Irish suffer another loss in addition to their matchup with the Heels, in order to return to the ACC championship game for the first time since 2015. All hope isn't lost, though, in Chapel Hill, as the ESPN Football Power Index gives Notre Dame just a 17.1% chance of winning out. When UNC students were told they could finally start attending football games again, eager students were met with an unexpected error message on their student ticket accounts. Caitlin Rivera reports.
One student, Daisy Byers, who was unable to attend the first couple of games, reached out to the student ticket office to try to resolve the problem.
So I thought, well, maybe I'll just give it a couple days and it'll work itself out. But the NC State game was approaching and I was like, okay, I'd really like a ticket to this, but I have no way to enter into the student lottery. So I finally emailed the ticket office.
Many students, like Tyreek Michael, thought the error message was only appearing on their accounts and expressed their frustration with the situation.
I thought it was just me until I saw on Facebook that it was somebody else as well. I was like, oh, okay, so maybe that's how I knew it was a school problem, not just me. Even if people did email them about that mistake, they didn't reach out to anyone else talking about, hey, if it just happened to you, make sure you do this and that. It was a bit unfair because I missed out on 2 games, potentially.
Although the problem hasn't been formally addressed by Carolina Athletics, students can reach out to the ticket office.
So they were really helpful. They basically just said that I needed to log in to Connect Carolina. And then once I was able to provide the adequate screenshot, or you can even send a PDF, they were able to fix all of that on their.
Students hope the problem will be resolved soon. Until then, students can contact the ticket office to receive very simple steps to have their accounts unlocked. I'm Caitlin Rivera, reporting.
The next opportunity to try the student ticket lottery is this weekend for the game against Wake Forest.
The UNC men's soccer team took to the home field this weekend, hoping to hand Duke a loss for the second time this season. The Tar Heels came in with high energy and were able to keep the pressure on the entire game. UNC's Lucas Del Rosario served across to Giovanni Montes de Oca, who secured a header to give Tar Heels a 1-0 advantage against the Blue Devils. Then just before the 90-minute mark, Taff Wada's quick feet helped solidify UNC's lead as he netted across from teammate Akeem Clark to give the Heels a 2-goal cushion. Heels win 2-0. The Heels are set to hit the field again when they host Notre Dame for the ACC quarterfinals on Sunday.
In preparation for the ACC tournament this coming week, Natalie Bodie sat down with women's soccer star Emily Fox to discuss the Tar Heels' quest for their 24th ACC championship.
What are the strengths of this year's squad, and what are you really looking for from your team going into the tournament?
I think as a whole, we have from both our, starting team and technically reserve team, there really is no drop-off. I think both teams provide exactly what we need in order to do well. So while most teams maybe play 90-minute players, we kind of have an extra wave of people that give us a lot of opportunities and chances to score. So I think that will really help us in the tournament.
So although you and your team had an undefeated regular season, the 1 seed for the tournament actually went to Florida State on a goal differential tiebreaker. So what was the reaction amongst you and your teams to that tiebreaker?
Obviously first reactions, we were kind of, a little bummed. It's really nothing that we can control at that point in time. But after the first initial reaction, we were kind of like, okay, we know who we're playing. now we can move forward and focus on our next game against Virginia Tech.
Let's now bring in soccer analyst Taylor Bennett. Taylor, can the women's team bring yet another title to Carolina?
The Heels have the talent, Aaron. The women's soccer team has its focus set on their first tournament matchup against Virginia Tech tomorrow. The Heels are the number 2 seed in the ACC tournament, so they'll take on number 7 Virginia Tech. The Heels have had a standout season so far, walking into the tournament with an undefeated 9-game winning streak. The team's biggest asset going into the tournament is a rock-solid defense. In all 9 games combined, only 3 shots have gotten past the Tar Heel defense. Last time the Heels faced Virginia Tech, a shot from Brianna Pinto led the Heels to a 1-0 victory. If history repeats itself, the Heels defense isn't the aspect of the game they need to worry about during tournament time. The Heels need to focus on converting corner kicks into goals, a part of their game that has been lacking all season. If they can convert shots into goals and maintain their defensive standard, they'll be hard to beat. Fans hope the team can secure its 24th ACC championship and move on to compete for a national title once again. Back to you guys.
Yet another of our classmates, Sports Extra reporter Alexa Graham, is the women's tennis national champ. Graham competed in the women's singles final of the 2020 Oracle ITA National Fall Championships this weekend. Graham faced off against UCLA's Abby Forbes for the title. Graham dominated and took the first set 6-4. She then went on to take the second set 6-2. Her straight sets win made Graham the newest tennis national champion and the 3rd women's tennis player for the Heels to win the ITA championship. Graham was excited to fly home as a national champion.
I mean, I was really excited. I'm just happy to be playing again. You know, we haven't really played since March, so to be back on court again was exciting, and to win was even better.
Here at Sports Extra, we're very proud to have 2 brand new champions among us.
As our fall sports begin to wrap up their season, Tar Heel fans will undoubtedly turn their attention to the upcoming spring seasons. This year, one sport's future looks particularly exciting. Megan Misty has the story.
According to the NCAA, lacrosse is one of the fastest growing sports in the country. 2 former Tar Heels say that's good news for the future of the women's game, with some Tar Heel alums expected to play in the newest professional women's lacrosse league announced last month.
Being part of 2 other professional startup leagues, you know, it's just another opportunity for us to get women's lacrosse in front of the masses and show why this sport is so great.
With the new league, Athletes Unlimited promises a redesigned game with quicker play.
You know, shorter fields, less time, all of that stuff. It really plays to the advantage of being creative, but having to do it at a fast pace, which means viewership is going to be high because it's high action.
Ultimately, Samantha Jo Tracy says the league's goal is longevity.
I want to make sure it's on the map. I want to get a lot of SportsCenter top 10 airtime, not just me, but girls in our program, because I want this to be front and center stage. I want everyone to know that Athletes Unlimited and women's lacrosse is here and here to stay.
The new league will begin play in 2021.
So excited to keep spreading the game that we love so much.
I'm Megan Missy reporting.
If anyone can help get the league on the map, it's the talented players from UNC.
UNC alum and Lakers shooting guard Danny Green received death threats after missing what would have been a game-winning three-pointer in Game 5 of the NBA Finals. This incident has drawn attention to the high expectations fans put on athletes and the media scrutiny they face. Marissa Ruwald reports.
Student athletes face pressure from themselves, their families, their coaches, and their fans. UNC's standard of athletic excellence isn't easy to live up to. Players are constantly expected to hit the game-winning shot or throw the last-second touchdown pass. Sophomore quarterback Sam Howell manages this stress by focusing on himself.
I really don't care about what anyone else says. I know the type of player I can be if I keep doing what I'm supposed to do, so no one's expectations are higher than my own.
When reality doesn't meet the high standards, it's easy for fans to use social media to voice their frustrations and level criticism. Tar Heels vented on Twitter following the football team's devastating loss to UVA. Dana Galin trains student athletes on how to interact and respond to the media.
I would help them understand that it's nothing personal, and that sometimes it's probably better to stay off Twitter. I mean, these are people who don't know you.
Media scrutiny can take a big toll on student athletes' mental health. Dr. Hillary Cawthon is a sports psychologist and mental performance consultant. She says 30% of athletes experience negative psychological symptoms on a daily basis.
The athlete experiences mental health at a greater risk. This pressure performance environment is causing more psychological symptoms to be present.
Dr. Cawthon says it's important for fans to change this pressure performance culture by viewing student athletes as human rather than as superheroes. I'm Mercer Raoult reporting.
Sees nobody there, sees a hole, makes some.
And in his second stint, he has the heel.
Well, Kirsten, what about the field hockey team winning their 23rd ACC championship? And speaking of them, our documentary that we produced last semester about their national championship run played in Milan, Italy this weekend for a sports documentary showing.
Wow, Aaron, it looks like Karen Shelton and the Heels are going global. So that's really exciting. And you know what? I really think they can win another national championship this year. So I'm just ready to see it happen.
I think they can too. And hopefully if they do, we'll be able to make another documentary about them.
Oh, yeah.
That does it for this edition of Sports Extra.
Thanks for watching. See you soon.